Mr. Joey
Right.
Yap, thank you for joining us at the National Critics' Choice, and also I'm Robin Steinberg from the Policymaker, a writer for the column.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Joey Yap is going to introduce his new book, his third in the series, The Power of X: Enter the Tang Gods. Please, Mr. Joey Yap, please tell us more about how you came about, writing your third book in the series.
Right. This book actually took me about 4 years since the last book 2 on a Destiny Code series. And Destiny Code is actually a book I first wrote in 2005. It's about Bazi, the Chinese astrology system. Now, Chinese astrology has always been known to be like the 12 animal signs and all that. So, but that's just for the Sunday comics. It's not like the real stuff. There are actually 2 systems in Chinese astrology where it takes into account the year, month, day, and hour to plot out a chart. And those 2 systems are the purple star system and Bazi, the 8-character system. Now, in 2005, when I first wrote the book, there were no books in English that is written about the full Chinese astrology system. So that was the first Destiny Code since then. And subsequently, a year and a half later, I released the second book, which is to explain the relationship analysis in that system. But the most important thing here in any astrology is about the stars. And in the Bazi system, the Destiny Code system, the 10 stars are called the 10 gods. They're actually just star names. So basically, this book explains the attributes, the information behind where these stars are located in relation to your year, month, day, and hour, and how it can help you explain 4 major important concepts about a person. Number 1, it tells you about a person's personality, which is, I believe, the most important part in understanding how a person behaves and why they're motivated to do things they do and so forth. And number 2, it talks about the person's thinking, because if you know how a person thinks, you can actually influence and affect the person to become better. And number 3, it talks about what sort of skills or potential or talents that one person would have, so that you can actually become better. If you knew about your talent early, you can develop the talent much earlier in life. And obviously, number 4 is to understand what sort of life path, so that you can plan what you need to do to maximize your potential in life. So there are 4 things. Then we don't talk about astrology as in astrology that is carved in stone, like, oh, your life's going to be really bad or really good and it's going to happen. No astrologers in this world can ever predict your true 100% accuracy about your life, because there's this element called free will, and no astrologers can predict free will. But we can look at the various paths that your life can have and make better choices for it to become better. And that's what this book is all about.
Okay. There's another question about from our readers, and they ask, is feng shui itself logic or is it science?
It's metaphysical science, much like NLP and all the psychology and all that. So what happens is, it's a science based on empirical studies, so that you look at certain patterns and you see the outcomes as a result of certain patterns. So you can't take it into a lab and like dissect it and find out which one is feng shui and all that, So one time a scientist also asked me, can you prove the existence of feng shui or Bazi? So then I told him, well, it's the same way, can you prove the existence of your mind? Right? Why don't you dissect your whole body and tell me which piece of it in you is the mind? The mind exists, but it's not exactly a physical form, right? So the concept behind feng shui and Bazi is all about this concept of qi. Qi is like the mind, a force, an energy force, a life force in this universe that affects us whether we have to believe in it or not. It's basically life force energy. And Bazi, which is the study that we talk about, is the life force energy that you are born with. Feng shui is the life force energy in the environment. So one is external, one is internal.
Oh. Speaking of life force in both internal and external, what do you think about what's happening in today's world? I mean, there's a lot of turmoil and
full of changes,
and full of climate change and so forth. How does feng shui play a part in food security, food scarcity? Because there's a lot of flooding and so forth. Would there be any good outcome from it?
Well, Feng Shui talks about cyclical changes. Now, the main difference between Chinese astrology and perhaps Western astrology is the concept of linear and cyclical. In Chinese metaphysics, where Feng Shui and Bazi astrology come from, we go on a concept that time is a cyclical pattern. So everything has a growth, a decay, and a rebirth session. So right now we're going through one of those phases. So everyone talks about 2012 being the end of the world and all that, but if you plot the chart for 2012, it clearly doesn't show the end of the world. It shows a very massive water element, and water basically means transformation and change. So it's basically a transformation, and of course it can't happen just right on the dot, right? So it's transitional. So right now you see a lot of water related disasters and all that. So basically it's like a wash up, a clean up. It takes this fluctuation, this change to happen in order for good things to come. So first you have to go through this before a new beginning begins. So it's alright, to go through such changes.
So about 2012, could you give us some sneak insight what it's going to be for businesses as well as for the environment?
Now, sure. Because it's a water element, water represents wisdom, thoughts, and also represents emotional changes and spiritual changes. So you'll find that subsequent to 2012, people will move on to intellectual or spiritual insights into a new level. So a lot of people will pursue a spiritual path. You'll find that concepts like meditation, yoga, for example, health consciousness, and new age, all this is due to water element. So a lot of people are moving into this phase.
And so, what are your plans for in the future? Are you planning to write the fourth book, or is it?
Oh yes, the fourth book is already done. It's just being edited. So perhaps we should. I would release it towards the end of the year during Christmas.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, this Destiny Code will have a series of 7 books. The fourth one will be released towards the end of this year because the subject of Chinese astrology is sophisticated and there's extremely many levels in it. So it's not possible to come up with just one book for everything, So each book we have to go through in detail to peel it layer by layer. So the next one is about the analysis of the 10 stars. That's the next book.
Well, thank you, Mr. Joey Yap.
Thank you very much.
We hope to see you more often. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, please adore him. Get his copy at all leading bookstores, and as well look up for his fourth book towards end of the year. I think Christmas will be a good time to buy it.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.